Our big story tonight, President Obama and Mitt Romney squared off in the Mile High City tonight for the first presidential debate. And joining us live to talk about tonight's performances, are Jonathan Saenz, president of Texas Values, a conservative group, and Dr. Brian Smith, a political science professor at St. Edward's University and a political contributor to Fox 7 News. We'll start off with you, Brian. What'd you think? Any surprises?
Not really. It was pretty much a very debate that we expected. Not a lot of action, no real big mistakes. It was kind of the campaign trail, but now on a debate format.
Jonathan, I'll say you support Mitt Romney. I'll put the words in your mouth. How do you think he did tonight?
Well, our organization doesn't support candidates, but, I'll tell you what, this debate had a lot of energy. I mean, Mitt Romney came out from the beginning. He knew what he wanted to talk about. He knew what the issues were. He knew the detail that he wanted to express to the American people, and he went straight to the president. Now, really interesting because the president is a good debater, but what we saw happen was that Mitt Romney was up to the task, and he was passionate about it. And you could see that come through. He had a lot of energy, he was focused, and it seemed like President Obama was a little irritated that Mitt Romney was taking him front on and not afraid to challenge him. Really pushing the issue of Obamacare, pushing the issues and the policies that President Obama's put out there, and really forcing him to defend himself. So you saw Obama on the defensive quite a bit, but you saw Mitt Romney also try to set the record straight on a lot of issues. The first half was about him setting the record straight, and then the second half was really about him talking about what he would do and really exposing some key things. And there was a couple of zingers in there that I think people will take away of this. And one of those was the $90 billion issue. The fact that Obama says he's for education.
Well, that brings us on to something, which is, Brian, during this debate, they talked about all sorts of numbers, Simpson Bowles, all sorts of issues and concepts and things that maybe not all the voters really know about. Does this forum really matter for people who are undecided?
Well, one thing about undecided voters is at this point in the game, a lot of them are undecided because they're tuned out, meaning they're just disgusted at the system, so they might not have even been watching this. The other thing is, for the partisan base, Obama's supporters wanted him to deliver a knockout blow tonight. This was their chance. He wasn't able to do it. Romney needed to, really try to grab voters, and I don't know if he was able to do it because it was so policy-oriented. He really didn't make himself into a more likable candidate. I think he needed to do some of that, but both candidates I thought did very well, and Romney did, as mentioned earlier, go on the attack, especially early on.
Kind of high on policy, low on personality.
Well, I have to say, though, historically, this is when the American people collectively start watching. You better believe millions of people watch this debate tonight, and for a lot of them, this is when the presidential race started. So if you're Mitt Romney, you got to feel really good about that. And if you're President Obama, you also have to realize, you know what, you got a fight on your hands. And that's what President Obama said towards the end, that he was going to fight for the American people, and I think that was really him showing that he had a fight on his hands that night. But I want to mention that $90 billion comment was key because Obama talks about education and putting teachers to work, and $90 billion was used for green energy, and that was a key thing that Romney exposed and said, you know what, why wasn't that $90 billion used to put 2 million teachers to work? And I think you'll hear a lot more of that comment being repeated as time goes on.
Yeah, and no doubt with 2 more debates to go and a vice presidential debate, we're going to see some more zingers, no doubt. Gentlemen, thank you both for joining us. We appreciate it.